Hi and welcome to this quick grab where we're going to look at the term diatonic. So diatonic is spelt D-I-A-T-O-N-I-C, diatonic. What does diatonic mean? Well, it has a couple of different meanings depending on whether you're talking about scales or chords. To look at the scales first, any diatonic scale is a combination of 5 tones and 2 semitones. So we need to have 5 tones and 2 semitones in each of these. So for example, the major scale of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone is a diatonic scale. For that reason, any of the modes are also diatonic because of course they contain the same intervals. We're just starting in a different place. So for example, for Dorian, we'd start here. For Phrygian, we'd start here. For Lydian, we'd start here, and so on. But the pattern will wrap around and we'll ultimately end up with 5 tones or 2 semitones. So any of those scales are diatonic. It's worth noting as well, by the way, that because these scales contain these relationships, they are also going to be by default heptatonic. So heptatonic scales are scales that contain 7 notes. The major scale you could think of might contain 8 notes. If you think about if we were to write the note names into the scale here with the intervals that we laid out before, you'll see that we do, obviously that semitone gets us back to C, but the C is a repeated note. So in actual fact, the C, D, E, F, G, A, B is just 7 tones, and hence we refer to that as a heptatonic scale. So the major scale, the natural minor scale, all of the modes are all diatonic scales. They contain 5 tones and 2 semitones. So to give you an example of one that isn't diatonic, take for example the whole tone scale, where, as the name suggests, all of the intervals between the steps are tones, is not diatonic because it doesn't contain the 5 tones and the 2 semitones. Another example would be the harmonic minor, which contains a minor third in it, so that's definitely not a diatonic scale. When we come to talk about diatonic harmony, we're effectively talking about the triads that are built off of a diatonic scale. So for example, if we had the C major scale, let's just do this quickly, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, there's the 7 steps of the scale. And in order to form the triad off of the C, we'd start here on the C, and we would add the 3rd and we'd add the 5th. So what we end up with is C, E, G, and then we continue the pattern on D, F, A, E, G, B, F, A, C, G, B, D, A, C, E, and B, D, F. What those chords are is beyond the scope of what we're looking at today, but effectively we have a C major, a D minor, an E minor, an F major, a G major, an A minor, and a B diminished. And those chords, or those triads, are all known as diatonic triads. A feature of it, you'll notice, is that we've started on a successive step of a diatonic scale, and all of the notes within those chords are also pulled from the same scale. There's no B flats or F sharps or anything else in there. All of the notes that form those triads come from that. So that's a quick grab. That's what diatonic means. In terms of a scale, it must contain 5 tones and 2 semitones. They're also heptatonic. As I say, they contain 7 notes by default, just purely because of the layout of 5 and 2. And in terms of diatonic chords, they are the triads that are built up from the steps of the diatonic scales. I hope that's useful, and I'll see you in the next quick grab.